What's up everybody, my name is Misha and today I'm going to show you how to install RedGard. I'm going to show you the tools you need, the materials you need, the whole installation process, and how to inspect your work to make sure that you did a good job. So let's get into the video. Alright, let's get into the video. So the first and most important thing probably here is to make sure that you tape off your tub. I'm taping off my tub and leaving a little bit of gap there just so I can get my adhesive in there and I can RedGard in there, but tape off your tub. Alright, so because I set my cement board on the top of the tub flange and not overlap it, one, I don't like the cement board inside like my tub. Two, I don't like how it kicks out. I have to add Hydroban Adhesive in that seam to make sure it's watertight. You're going over the screws as well. Then I'm using my glove and just smushing it out. Next, we're going to start RedGarding. Essentially, first thing you're going to do is get a little pass with a 4-inch brush and then put in our fabric. The fabric overlaps that Hydroban adhesive that I put on there to double waterproof whatever. I'm going to show you these parts separately and the actual materials in a second. All right, so now that our perimeter is done at the flange, now we're going to focus on our niche. There's two spots where tubs usually will fail. One is at that flange, or two is at the niche. So we're going to make sure that we're going to spend extra time and do this really, really well. So we're going to put fabric on the inside corners, on the outside corners, and then additionally just on the corners themselves to make sure that they're super, super strong. I'll show you how to make that fold. There's kind of like a weird little fold that you have to do inside that corner right there, but I'll show you how to do it. It's not that hard. All right, now that the niche is taken care of, the last two things that we have to put our band in is those inside corners to make sure that they're really, really strong. Because I guess outside of the perimeter of the flange, the niche, that's the third most important thing you have to take care of. All right, so before we get to rolling out the RedGard, the fun part, I want to kind of go over the things that we just saw in the video so you can see them up close, so that you know exactly what you need to get in order to make sure that your tub or your shower is legit. Let me show you what we're working with. All right, so the first thing that you see in the video is us using Hydroban adhesive, like that. It doesn't have to be exactly this one, but it does have to be 100% waterproof adhesive. So KBRS, Hydroban adhesive, any one of those will work. Make sure you're not using glue, okay? Because that will be absolutely wrong and there will be rot over there. So I'll have a link for this one down below just so it's easier for you guys to find it, all right? All right, so next we have our application tools. This 3-inch brush, it's like $1.50 at Lowe's. It's the best brush that you could use for this application because one, you can be kind of precise, you know what I'm saying? But two, it's not super sloppy like the 6-inch brush or the 4-inch brush would be. This is all you need. Bang. Second, we have our roller. And again, it can be a cheap roller. Remember, you're not painting your cement board. What you're doing is you're applying a layer of RedGard over it to make sure that there's nice even coat. So it doesn't have to be a fancy, expensive roller. It just has to get the job done. I'm just kidding. All right, and the last thing we have here is our fiberglass band that we're using here. This is a 6-inch band. I think it comes in rolls of 100 foot. And basically it's super, super strong. And this is why we're going to be putting it in all of our corners and around the perimeter of that flange. Let me show you how to cut it and how to make that little corner inside the niche. All right, so when you're working with this stuff, it's super important to have a nice sharp blade. So first thing you're trying to do here is cut a nice even square. Once you cut your square, you're going to go to the center of it and then cut it again. Then once you cut it, you go like this. This flap just turns a 90 like so, and then you have your nice inside corner. You're going to cut 4 of these and you're going to put in all 4 of those squares. When you're layering your RedGard, you want to make sure that you're getting RedGard between these 2 layers and they're not just touching each other. Because if they're touching each other, it's inappropriate. I'm just kidding. So it's not going to stick as well and you might get it like an air pocket. So you want to make sure that they're actually RedGard between all these layers. That's it. How simple is that? All right, so here we are. Now we're gonna start rolling this out. Listen, if you haven't subscribed yet, shame on you. You see your boys putting in the work here, putting in the hours, recording this stuff, trying to make a nice tutorial for you. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like. Let's go, share it with your mom. Last thing we're doing here is we're rolling this stuff on. Make sure you're not painting it, you're actually rolling it on. Check it out. Ew, what a slimy sound. But that's exactly what you're looking for. You want to make sure that your roller is never dry. You're just applying a layer of RedGard. All right, so I want to show you what it looks like after you did your first coat. It looks pretty good from far, but once you get closer, you start seeing these little pinholes all over the place, which means that's where the water could still get in and get into your cement board. So you want to make sure you're doing a second coat to cover those up. Well, heck, we're almost done. We're doing our second coat here now. Make sure that it's completely dry before you do your second coat, because you want to make sure that you're actually getting the layers of waterproofing on top of each other. Because if it's still wet and you're putting another layer on top of it, you just have a wet layer on top of the wet layer, or the other one might have hard time drying. So again, go over the perimeter, get our corners, get our niche, make sure that it's nice and watertight, and then just roll it on again. You're not painting it, you're rolling on a layer of this RedGard waterproofer. I think it's a great product. I've used it for years now and it hasn't failed me yet. Let me show you what it looks like once it's all said and done. So again, we're visually inspecting to see if we can see any of those pinholes. And as you can see, we're not seeing any of those. Well, this is so freaking far away. How about we zoom in a little bit, Misha? Here we go. See, now we're looking for those pinholes again. We're not seeing what we saw before. Run your fingers through it. See if you can scratch it off. You probably won't, because that thing is gooked on there pretty good. Now you're ready to tile, and that's going to be one of our next videos coming up. So make sure you stick around to check that out.